stuff to a picnic Saturday.
Oh Lord.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
That was different.
5.
Yes, I
4,
did.
3, 2.
Welcome. This is Thursday, ExCons4Trump on Intellectual Radio. That's ExCon4, the number 4 live for Trump on Intellectual Radio with my co-host, Kata Trust, and I'm Tyrone Muhammad. Look, this is going to be a live day. You know, we've been gone for a while. I think we've been doing a lot of little work. I think we've been doing some media tours or something. But that's 708-223-8953 for those who want to call in. And you all on live out there. That's 708-223-8953. You are tuned in to ExCon4Trump on Intellectual Radio. God, it's been a while.
I know. And let me say something to the people. Let me let y'all know. Y'all know Tyrone bust my chops when I came in today because I didn't have on my gear.
Uh-oh.
So let me let everybody know, in case there's any doubt, I am with ExCons4Trump. I am with my brother. I'm with this organization. I'm with what it stands for. Let there be no mistake about it. And I will have my gear on next week. And let me just say, for all the haters out there, haters gonna hate, and that's okay. But don't be a fool and roll up, because I got what you need over here. I got what you need. Don't let the gray hair and the pretty face fool you. I will get down on you. I just sometimes you gotta let people know, because you know they think.
I think they know though.
No, they don't know. They don't know.
You know what? The reality is, our people are sick. We sick. I'm talking about with everything going on in our community. I'm just looking at all the shootings. It's like they get no press coverage. I'm looking at the shootings, the carjackings, all the robberies, and mainly those things are done to our women. I'm going to say it again, black men out there listening. We can talk about this election. We can talk about Trump. We can talk about these bootleggers, tap dancers, people who don't give a care about your community. At the end of the day, when them bootleggers are no longer in office, or God deal with them the way he's going to deal with them. You see my man in New York, right? And so I imagine, but you know what? It won't happen in Chicago. And you know why it won't happen to Chicago? As long as these individuals, attorney general, is put in place by them, they would never investigate themselves. That's why Trump got to clear the swamp. I mean, is it clean the swamp?
It's clean the swamp.
So we have to. Listen, it ain't no doubt in my mind. I am a firm believer that our next president, Donald Trump, is gonna drain the swamp. And get ready. Everybody that has violated black people with this migrant issue, have taken our money, hook, line, and sinker, spent money. Y'all about to go to prison because you illegally spent money on non-citizens against the wishes of the citizens.
Wait a minute, what you mean against the wishes? They didn't even ask you.
No, when they did ask, we had those city council meetings. And we told them we don't want them in our communities. We had Lori Lightfoot did that, had the meeting. Now, what I'm trying to understand is, God, why did we have these fake town halls? If they was gonna do what they gonna do anyway.
Well, so remember that
they should go to jail for that.
They should for the BS. But you have to remember, town hall meetings are nothing more than a formality to say we had a conversation with the community. Right. We don't really give a damn what y'all think, but we gotta be able to say we told y'all. We gotta be able to say we had a conversation. And this administration here in Chicago that we have right now,
that's special group.
Shit, they excuse me, they don't even have a conversation with you. Really, they just get out here and make moves. And we talked about the crime a few minutes ago, and I'm looking at the fact that ShotSpotter ended this week. Yeah. And riddle me this, citizens of Chicago that may be listening. riddle me this.
Oh, they ready.
How is it that ShotSpotter was good enough for the DNC? Because remember, they kept it through the DNC.
Just pass the question along.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, we sorry. Come on in. We're ready.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to ExCons4Trump. Who are we talking to?
This is Kathy Brown. I've been following you since you did the boycott with the nail salon a few years ago.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, sister, for your support.
Absolutely. But I wanted to find out if you could just clear up for me your support for the former president, in light of what he did with Central Park 5 and even with the current Project 2025. I'm just really, just confused and really concerned. If you could clear that up for me, I would appreciate it.
Concern for who? Me? Or concern for us?
Well, I'm concerned for us, and I'm just trying to get clarity in terms of, the support for him, considering, his past and everything.
Okay, excellent.
Well, we all got a pass,
well,
sister.
I'm gonna let her. Let me answer her question, because then you can, as a Black woman who supports Trump, you can explain your point if she would allow you to do that, right? So, sister, your name? What's your name again?
Kathy Brown.
Good. Nice to meet you, Kathy Brown. Once again, I say thank you for your support. And as a caveat, when I do what I do, I don't do what I do for nobody's support. When I do what I do what I do for God, and I do what I do because I love my people, right? And so when I threw the brick through the window, that was my way of showing you, who I don't even know, or any Black woman that may be disrespected by anybody outside of our community and anybody in our community, that, man, that's Black men who going to stand up, put themselves on the line for what they believe in and for protecting you all, right?
Absolutely. And I definitely appreciate that.
Yes. So I'm a man who spent 21 years in prison. I ain't get a call. I ain't get a visit. Nobody sent me $5. They didn't send me 20 cents to buy a noodle. But I came out from prison with no help, no nothing, no housing, no job opportunities, nothing that I have. So from the government, who incarcerate Black men at a higher clip than any country. I'm gonna say it again. First of all,
no, I agree.
So my incarceration under the 1994 Clinton crime bill, ushered in by Joe Biden, I can feel that in my community. I know that it exists. Furthermore, Trump, for me, and his issuing of the First Step Act that released thousands of Black men back home to their families because of the excessive sentencing caused by the Clinton crime bill. That's one point for me. Trump represent to me, and you talking about I've heard him explain the Central Park, the 5, and I've heard him explain a lot of the issues. The Project 25 is Heritage Foundation. I've openly heard him denounce that. And I can show you, and we got proof of him denouncing it, if we only Google Trump denouncing of Project 2025. But because we want to play this narrative and the scare tactics of what it is, why we support Trump and not. And furthermore, one thing I've always telling you, because you're my sister, I feel the obligation to explain that. Like when people outside our community try to ask me why I do something, I'm gonna say, I tell them, first of all, it's okay for a man to cut his penis off and say he's a woman. Second of all, it's okay for a woman to kill a whole life in her stomach and she's okay. That's acceptable and that should be her right. But when I say, let me finish. But when I say I support, which is my right to vote for any candidate under the Democratic country, under the Republic of America, that I can vote for anybody who I choose people feel a problem with it because it's not a part of the narrative or the process that they support.
Okay, but that's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying, sister?
Definitely, right. We all have. God has given us all free will.
That
and
it is right there. That is.
I understand that. You are not obligated to explain or prove anything to me, but because I have followed you in the past, it really is about trying to get a level of understanding between Black men and Black women, because I don't.
Well, we got Black women that support Trump, and because they've been under the Democratic rule for 60 years. And have you seen our communities lately?
No, okay, I was a part of the local organizing committee for the Million Women March in 1997. I helped to transport 65,000 women out of the state of Illinois to Philadelphia. So I've always done work in terms of trying to uplift our people, because we clearly have some issues.
But you asked me, sister, why did I, not what you've done. I'm asking you, you asked me, and I was explaining to you why I, as a Black man.
What you had asked me is about, you had asked me about the thing, in terms of the trouble in our community. So the reason I answered it the way that I did is to let you know that by me working with the Million Women March, I've always done active work in our community. I'm very much aware. I have a love for our people. I don't think our Black men support Black women the way they should, which is why, your act of, just doing what you did with the nail salon, that was just something I thought, honestly, I was like, oh, wow, because that's what we need in terms of really us being able to stand up for each other. But the only thing, so, it's not a matter of attack. It's always a matter of communication and a matter of level of understanding. When it comes to Central Park 5, he put out a one-page ad asking for them to necessarily be executed. They were exonerated. He has never officially apologized.
Did you hear what he said about that? He said, since that's your point, he said that at the time when he put that out, he said, this is what his words. I'm not an apologist for him, because let me say what he said. He said that at the time when he did that, they had confessed to doing the murder. We know now that the confession.
They were forced.
So he said that he didn't do that because based on the information that we all had and he had as well at the time.
But Brother Tyrone, I truly understand that, like they were coerced into.
I get that part.
Okay, may I finish? They were coerced into a confession at the time. Since then, they have been exonerated. So even up until now, forget about what he did and why he did it then. What about apologizing for it now? Because the one thing about it is that, number one, it's really brutal to necessarily call for someone's execution to the point where you want to take out a one page.
You're talking about an issue from a national political agenda. I don't, and I've made, if you listen to me and follow me, you will know I have said as somebody you say you follow, that I don't care if it was Mickey Mouse in office, if it was Daffy Duck or Donald Duck in office.
I understand that, but
you got a sister. I can't. You said I got the right to vote for who I wanted. Then you argue me about my choice. Okay, I'm only saying to you, sister.
Why are you saying that, okay, brother.
You can't. If you call you call me to ask me my opinion and why I haven't finished.
You can finish. The reason that I called is to number one tell you in terms of why I followed you. I don't want you to think that I'm arguing with you.
You are arguing with me. You are arguing with me.
No, I'm not. Okay, so what? No, I'm not arguing.
It's an argument.
May I interject?
What is the difference between arguing and a okay? You can have opposing opinions without arguing. I admire the work that you're trying to
do, but you talking about Trump, sister. You wait a minute. You talking about Trump. I'm talking about all politics are local. Trump has nothing to do with the work that we do in this city. Every day in this city, you got to tell the Democrats in this city to apologize to us for giving $400 million to non-citizens, to apologize to us for 250 or more black women being murdered in Chicago. Trump didn't do that. Trump did not do that. Did you not support Brandon Johnson? Though, go ahead, but go ahead.
Tyrone,
yeah.
Before we talk about Donald Trump and the Democrats, I'm stuck on the fact that you think I'm arguing with you.
No, well, you can. Well, we can. No, I can't let you fit because you're gonna filibuster my program. And if you want to have a conversation, if you want to, we can talk face to face, and I can talk to you all day about why I don't mind talking to you. The problem that I have. I don't have a problem with you, and you should have one with me.
You're not letting me finish my statement.
We can't finish that statement here today. If you want to have a conversation with me, sister, I'm welcome. I'm accessible. We can come have a conversation. If you want to do it online, or we could go private. So I got to go. Bye, Queen. Sister,
I just don't want you to think that I'm arguing with you.
Yeah, you are. That's why you ain't said, okay, next time when I send my number, I email you, and you want to keep going there to prove that you're not doing that. But that's what it is, in fact. It's a debate. It's argument. It is. Because I have a choice and the right to vote my choice, regardless to whether somebody like it or not. And that should be respected. I prove that I'm about my people. I have an agenda and an objective for what I'm doing and why I push against the Democrat with Trump. That we can't continue to vote hook, line, and sinker for a party that don't even respect our vote. And with that being said, with all due respect, sister, I would love to talk to you more, but maybe, I don't know if you want to listen to the sister. She wanted to say something, or we want to get back to this.
Yes, I can hear what she has to say.
Well, I think that the female perspective, I think, may help some, I hope. And I, too, did feel the way that you felt about the Central Park 5 and the fact that Trump never apologized for it. I did take offense to that. However, I am more offended by the rhetoric and the disrespect that is being played within the Black community by the Democratic Party. And that disrespect, that lack of acknowledgement, for me, is deeper than Trump not coming out and apologizing for the ad he took against the Central Park 5. I think that we love to talk about the fact that he may not have treated women fairly, or the fact that he may be racist, but we forget about the crime bill. We forget about the war on drugs. We would forget about welfare reform. All of those things that were used as tools to incarcerate our people, that tore down Black families, so much so that we're still dealing with the pillage of what that costs Black communities across this country. And so when people say to me, oh, I can't support Trump because he's racist, or I can't support him because of the way that he treats women, I can't support the Democratic Party for the way that they continue to disrespect my people. And then we're talking about Project 25. And let me just speak to that. Project 25 is founded by the Heritage Foundation, by rich white men. Okay. And that organization is supported by both Democrats and Republicans. If you go and you pull the receipts from where money has been spent in these campaigns, you will find that Democratic candidates, including Kamala Harris, has taken as much money from the Heritage Foundation as Republican candidates. That's there. It's for you to see. So while the Democrats will have people believe that Project 25 is a Republican movement, it is not. And I challenge people who are going around supporting that narrative to do their homework. Also, there is something way more sinister that is coming down the line than Project 25. And I want you to go and research the Dr. Fauci's organization and what happened in the meeting that they had in New York and what that is going to mean for citizens of America and how that's going to affect us during the next pandemic. While y'all walking around worried about Project 25, and that is supported by the Democratic Party, you better go check that out because that's way more sinister than what Project 25 can even attempt to do. Not to mention the fact that Trump has came out on several occasions and said, I do not support all of the facets of Project 25. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
So, sister, like I said, once again, I would like to talk more about it because it's bigger than just this election. We have a local election that affects us more than this one every 4 year presidential election. I'm telling you, we have a problem in Illinois and in Chicago as a city as a whole with over 150 black elected positions. And you know we can name them from the lieutenant governor all the way to the county board president, all the way to the state's attorney, all the way to the police chief, all the way to all these black elected officials from aldermen to state rep. Our problem ain't a white man problem. Our problem is what I want to say, boule bourgeoisie elitist black problem. I'm telling you this because the lower people, the people that I know I deal with and represent every day, they don't see none of them people in the communities. These people are black socialites. They are black socialites posing as elected officials representing our issues. And that's really it. Our whole ExCons4Trump is to say that for black men that's been mass incarcerated for over 60 years have been perpetually discriminated by everyone. We live in a country that we've paid our debt to society and we can't even get housing. We can't get jobs without discrimination. We can't get a lot of the issues in mental health and all the stuff that men deal with coming out of cells for 20 years plus for me. They never determine what's wrong, brother. Are you okay? How do we check and balance and see if you can properly amalgamate back in society so you don't even harm the citizen? They don't even care. They released men back in society worse off when they went in. The IDOC is ran by the Democrats. All of the aspects of this social justice and violence money is all controlled and orchestrated by Democrats. This is not a Republican state or a Republican city. They got us focusing on Trump, who ain't got much time probably on this earth, while we still getting messed over and greased down right in our own city, where black boys can't even enjoy downtown, but tourists can come and exploit and enjoy the very fibers of the city that our ancestors built. I'm just saying the same with everything. Look at the unemployment rate of young black men. It's like 70% over there with them from 18 to 24. That's not working. Then we talking about the smash and grabs, the home invasions, the shootings, because them boys don't have training program. They're not in school. They don't have anything. But we got $400 million to give to criminal elements that come through the border, not by Trump. They can say the Republicans sent these people, but guess who we are? We are a sanctuary city. That mean, you know what that means? That means that you should be happy to receive them. And guess who it affects more than anybody by them keeping the sanctuary city status? Who are they serving? They're not serving our community. If I was a Republican, I'd send $10 million to Chicago to disrupt the whole system. Since y'all want to play that, let black people be mad at them. That's what's happening. They are destroying their own voters base. And they're going to keep doing it until we say enough is enough. So my support for Trump, sister, is not the man. It's the office that he will be representing. And I believe I have a better negotiating power with Trump than I do with Kamala. And that's crazy.
Facts.
That's crazy.
Facts. And we have to remember that she has already said, and if nothing
Ain't got
else,
none for black people.
If nothing else pisses you off, this should. When a person who considers themselves today to be a black woman, and when you ask her, in light of all of the disparities that are happening in black communities around the country, what do you plan to do to change it? And she says, well, I don't have a plan for just black people. But you know, the Democrats had a plan for just Latinos.
And
they had a plan for just migrants. They had a plan for just the Asians. They had a plan for just the LGBTQ. But you don't have a plan for your people? And people are really questioning why we're not supporting her? I think something is wrong with that. Don't you?
No, I don't. But
so let me ask you this. You seem to have a problem with those of us who are supporting Trump.
Why do you support
Why?
Trump?
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, that's okay.
I apologize if I misunderstood.
Why do you support Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Why do I support? Well, the thing about it is everything that you said in regards to the Democrats. Like I said before, I'm neither Republican nor am I Democrat.
Me either.
Me neither.
I know that's what I'm saying, that we are common. So I didn't want anyone to think that I was attacking or arguing. I think having a debate is.
So why do you support Kamala? Give me 3 points. Give me 3 points.
No, that's not right.
But you can't call and ask me, and I can't ask you. That's a double standard.
You see what I'm saying?
No, that's a double standard, sister.
No, it's not.
I asked you. You did what Kamala did. You did what Kamala did. You just did what Kamala did.
I sat quiet and listened.
No. I asked you a question now. Now you arguing and running.
Okay, now I'm arguing and running.
So, all right, sister.
I'm clear about your position.
Now, I made my point clear when I said ExCons4Trump.
And I said, okay.
No. I'm asking you now, sister. Why are you? Give me 3 points. Give me 3 points.
You're not interested in hearing my point of view.
I am. I'm give me 3. I gave you.
If you were interested in hearing my point of view, you wouldn't have cut me off because I said
all right,
quietly.
All right.
I wanted to listen to both of you.
You don't have.
Now, I wasn't even 2 minutes into.
You don't have a point. You can ask me a question. That's the double standard of the Democratic Party. I gave you a couple of reasons why I support Trump. You can't give me no because you playing victim now on me.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Well, then I'm the victim. Okay.
I'm saying I asked you real simple. Why do you support her? Real simple.
You didn't let me answer. You
I'm
cut
waiting.
me off. I was answering, you cut me off. And I asked you to give me the same consideration that I gave you, and I didn't get it. So you're not interested in my answer. So I won't go back and forth. You took the time I wanted to get some clarity in terms of why you supported Trump, and then you gave me answers in terms of what the Democrats.
No, I gave you my answer first about Trump.
So you cut me off again.
Well, sister, I gotta go. We're not gonna get, because you still haven't answered my point. I'll talk to you another time. So that's what I'm saying. What we do is we play too much. We want to rub and massage people's feelings about the lie versus the truth, because they keep doing the Project 25. That's a lie. Who put that out there?
Democrat.
Right. And then we want to be emotional.
It's a scare tactic.
But look at this. It's okay for me to expound why I do what I do. I've been doing this for a few months now, right? Since been to the Republican National Convention, I had my ExCons4Trump stuff on. I've been doing this for a minute now. And if people follow me, they'll understand that I ain't caught up in the no figureheads or none of that. So when you ask me about Trump and you feel a certain way about Trump, then you don't listen to me. If I say, if Mickey Mouse was in that position, that's lesser than Trump, because it's an imaginary thing. I would still support that office because the office is opposite of them. It means that it's only two parties that can win. You can stay home, and you really still, essentially, if you stay home, you're still voting for Trump. Anyway, because the less black people show up at the polls, they're going to roll out for Trump. Watch what I tell you that Trump have on the white and rural and in the city. Trump will have more votes. And while y'all think white women finna vote for Kamala, you're a fool. They a fool. And I'm only saying that I've been having my position. I often take positions before anybody ever say they go. I'm one of the first to take position on violence. I'm one of the first to say Brandon ain't gonna do nothing for y'all. And got ridiculed and ran in the mud. Forget about all I do. But what did it prove? What did I prove in that? Brandon ain't done nothing for us.
You proved right.
And then we coming around again. You gonna vote that woman in office, and y'all gonna find out why she say, I ain't just gonna do nothing for black people. You gonna find out why she said what she said. Her whole everything says who she said. From prosecuting transnational gang chiefs, then to turning around and being the head of the border, then allowing transnational gang chiefs to invade our communities without knowing who and what and where they are or which group they belong to. The oxymoronic nature of the Democratic Party and what they've been doing to our communities, either we are insane or we just, I ain't even use that other word I want to use, but we are really broken as a people. You think and they think your and my choosing Trump is a weakness. No, that's a strength. Because while everybody going to the right road, we said, nah, we're going to take the left, a path of, struggle, conflict, and all the other stuff. So I don't have to even explain to nobody why I support. See, one thing about a democracy, I don't have to explain to you why I vote my way. I can just be an asshole and say, hey, I vote because I have the right to choose. Now, if I say anything about anybody's gender, as a black man, I get ran in a ringer, through the ringer. Wait, hold on, you got the right to choose? I got the right to choose. They go through all that soliloquy. But then to question you about your democratic right to the vote. And then say you got a right to vote. Vote, but don't vote for him. Vote, but don't. I love this because I'm a conflicted by nature. But I'm also benevolent when it comes to my people. But I don't have no sympathy or empathy for idiots and ignorance. When you posing it as a black, if we voting for black, see, people can't never answer why they vote for Kamala. Kamala can't answer what's her policy for America.
She doesn't have a policy for America. And here's the thing that is really just troubling that I don't think people are really thinking about. Kamala Harris is the current vice president of the United States.
Right.
And she is now the Democratic nominee. And let's keep in mind why she's the Democratic nominee. She's the Democratic nominee because they felt that the current president was not capable of going through with the election. So she became the nominee by default. Remember this, because the current president isn't able to carry out his duties. So now if that's the case, why do we have to wait until she's elected in order for her to do whatever it is she's saying she's going to do that have you people running out and lacing up your chucks and running to the left? She's currently, all practical purposes, the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to wait until January to do anything. If she was going to be implementing things that were going to benefit America, she is in a position to be doing those things now.
But she's campaigning. She don't have time for you. She campaigning.
I'm just
she
saying,
don't have time for the office. She wasn't doing nothing in the office anyway.
She wasn't doing nothing when she was there.
So she campaigning while president and not doing nothing, but promising you that she's gonna do something in 4 years. So in 4 years she haven't done nothing, but she gonna do something in 4 years. So you asking us to elect you to do what we
you ought to be
you
doing
to do, man. Wait. So, hey, look, man.
I'm just saying, make it make sense.
This the Twilight Zone.
Make it make sense.
I'm telling you, I used to watch the Twilight Zone growing up, and I had to stay up all night watching that, and still trying to understand the Twilight Zone, like all the twists and turns.
In it.
It's like, and it's a matrix. So it was Twilight Zone when we was growing up. Then it's now the Matrix. Then it's the what? Woke now. What, they woke?
Nah, they ain't woke. They say they say they woke.
But see, you can say one thing and it means something else. You know? Because, you know, in this country, you can't have a free thought. Don't be a black man having no thought when you ain't even got an agreement with your woman, nor the government whose job it is, according to the Bible, to kill a male child. Black women, let me say this again, because I don't understand it, because if you think you the object, and it becomes, you think it's sensitive now, it becomes sensitive because we've been brainwashed and duped to think we could do this on our own. Black men can't exist without black women. We wouldn't even be birthed without black women. How does that work? How does the sperm catcher have a host if it ain't our mother? Like, your father can't breathe. You can't come in this world without that. But this is what they've done. The Democratic Party is about black women.
The destruction
of
black women. Don't get it twisted.
And the church is the host of the spirit, the energy, and the souls of our communities. And that soul is black women. And pastors are pimps. Politicians are pimps. And black women should be ashamed of themselves when God present messengers to wake you up from your pimping. And you don't even take heed, even when black women tell them.
Let's talk about the church.
Yeah, go with it.
Let's talk about the church, and let's talk about it as a Christian. And I don't know how many people I've had to say to, and I have to be honest, this is a new awakening for me. As I begin to really become more spiritually fed and spiritually led, you have to understand that as Christians, there are some things that we ain't got no business supporting.
Man, right.
And I have to remind people all the time
that
God destroyed an entire nation because of sexual immorality. And some people like to say, well, he didn't say homosexuality. But yeah, in the Old Testament, it outlines.
Now, Jesus came to make all things new.
He did.
So the Old Testament don't exist.
That's some crap.
That's what they say.
And those are the people who want to transform the word to make it fit what they want it to fit. But the Bible is explicit when it says that a man should be with a man and a woman with a woman. It is very explicit when it talks about that in the New Testament. So those of us who are walking around supporting the Democratic Party and still calling ourselves Christians, are we really? Because see, the Bible says to come out from among them.
But have we ever been? James Baldwin. James Baldwin was a gay black man.
Yes, he was.
James Baldwin said, this, for the slave master to give you the Bible and it doesn't become a threat, pretty much, for your freedom, that should tell you something about that book you read. When the very captors can preach and give and raise pastors up to shepherd the flock, and that flock is not free from that word, from the slave masters, that should tell you that you love those who spitefully or misuse you. Somebody put that in there. And that you should obey your masters. Oh, yeah, I'm most definitely going to give you this book. I'm most definitely going to give you this book. Because this book, that book is the problem. And I'm not saying that it's not righteousness, but the way that book is taught.
And the way that
it's used.
It's used incorrectly. Yes.
And really, God talk about this in the book. I don't believe that there was a Sodom and Gomorrah that ever existed. I believe we're in it.
Oh, yeah.
And the prophecy.
We in it.
And the prophecy of that book is pointing out this great nation that failed, like that book, allegorical. So allegorical and decisive measures. Those seeking to give it their own meaning, take the part that is allegorical. But the wise and prudent, that's the 5%ers, they understand that the allegorical is decisive. The decisive measures are real. And it's happening. We see in the pastors are allowing them to operate in that church.
But see, there's going to be a fall.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a fall. The Bible also speaks of the fall of the false prophets. And just as you are seeing things being uncovered and the slip coming off in Hollywood and in the music industry, we are also beginning to see it in the church.
That's right.
And you're beginning to see things become exposed.
Look at Puffy now.
A lot of things are going to be exposed.
Look where it's
yes, we're in a season where you're going to begin to see things exposed. You're going to begin to see the falseness of the things that are being taught in the church. You're going to begin to see how the church is being used to destroy and keep our people in captive and in bondage.
That's right.
You're beginning to see it.
So, Colin,
and it's going to become more prevalent.
Look at this. How is it that we historical on every line, social, economic, social, religious, every line, economics, housing, education are the lowest of all populations, right? How is it that we can sit back and openly watch our elected officials consistently, even Brandon Johnson, go back to Washington to get more money
for the migrants,
for the non-citizens, for the illegals,
that's it,
for the terrorists, but have no resources for us? We can build no centers without going through a rigorous grant processing that ultimately end up in you cannot build no institution or schools for these black boys and girls. Tracy often say, who cares about our children? Black children. Not them.
Who's talking about black children?
None of them.
Who's talking about the betterment of black children?
None of them.
Who's talking about putting mechanisms in place to progress black children?
None of them.
Ain't nobody talking about it. The education has been watered down. It has been dismantled. It has been taken away from our children for all practical purposes. We're nothing more than babysitters in these schools now. Our kids aren't really learning anything.
You better believe ain't no black men in there. Why?
Because we can't put positive role models in front of those young men to give them something to look forward to, something that they could be or aspire to. We have to put people in front of them that gives them a false narrative of who they are. So we're going to put men in there who want to be women.
You know what God say about them? He hate them. And they don't believe me. I pull it up in your scriptures. God hate evil. Our elected officials are evil. And honestly, if God hate them, I do too.
Well, now,
because look at our communities.
We can't.
And not, no. Yes, we can. Because I'm going to tell you like this here. They keep playing in our face like this. These women getting robbed and shot. They can't go down the street terrorized. Because I watched it. I watched them put up an $850,000 gate to have the appearance for 3 days.
3 days.
As though they was really cleaning this city up. I watched them spend hundreds of millions
for a facade.
For a facade that you didn't even know came through the community when it was all over with.
Yeah.
Because the contracts
drive through there now.
They got people prostituting on Randolph's downtown and selling drug in the open drug market. The very people who our benevolence allowed to come over here with our tax dollars, they openly disrespecting our city. They hurting this, robbing and killing citizens. And you think you don't see the evil of that right now? If you don't think the devil is real and you looking for something to come out the ground,
well, I tell you what, Tyrone,
it ain't gonna happen.
Let them go vote. Let Kamala get in there.
Yeah.
You gonna mess around. You know how the people say you gonna mess around and find out? Well, that ain't the word they use, but y'all gonna mess around and find out that what we're telling you is the truth. Y'all gonna mess around and find out. Because see, don't let it be too late. Like those of us who supported Brandon Johnson, because I supported Brandon Johnson.
Yeah. And
I am kicking myself.
She was one of the same ones that looking at me like I'm crazy for violence.
I didn't look at you like you was crazy,
Hey,
but I really thought.
and you voted black.
I voted black. Let me
That's it.
and let me tell you something. And that's why I can sit here and say to the sister that was on the phone, because I know what you're going through. I know how that feels. How we're sitting there like we did with Barack, waiting on that great black hope, that black savior to come in, and oh my God, this is gonna be our man, and he's gonna come in and he's gonna turn it around. And then when he didn't, what y'all said was, when he didn't do it, what y'all said was, well, the Republicans had his hands tied.
Well,
they didn't have his hands tied. We weren't the agenda for him.
No, we weren't.
We weren't the agenda. Just like we aren't the agenda for Brandon, and we aren't the agenda for Kamala. And we keep showing up for these people who are not showing up for us. And at what point? Because let me tell you something.
I ain't feeling it.
For me, I've only been supporting this Republican agenda for the last, year maybe? For the last year. This is new for me. I was right there where some of you are. Rolling with the Democrats no matter what.
Blue no matter who.
And then I woke up and I was like, but darn it. I'm like Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? It's been 60 plus years since the civil rights movement. We ain't got nothing since then. And at what point, people, do we stop and say, you know what? No, we ain't going to keep doing this. We're not going to keep showing up and voting blue no matter who. And we ain't getting nothing out of it. That's the definition of insanity. To keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. At what point do we say enough is enough? And let me tell you all something else. Trump is the name at the head of the Republican ballot.
That's it.
But this ain't got a darn thing to do with that man. It is the principle of it all. Hear me, people, when I say it is the principle of it all. Y'all got to stop looking at the man and look at the optics that are being pointed your way.
You know what this looks like? You remember Trump say, what else do you have to lose, right? He right. He was right then. Like, y'all tried this forever. What else do you have to lose in trying and giving me a chance to figure out if I could do something for your community, right? And we are like this. I'm drowning in the pool because we've been drowning for a long time, waiting on the life raft. Here come this man. I don't even like him. First of all, you don't even know him. You never met Trump. You don't know that man. He was everything for black people before he turned Republican.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't going. That's the next story. That's Tuesday conversation.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he
y'all loved him on The Apprentice. He was the man.
Not only that, the rappers, they talked about him. People board games. We played them. All the different stuff, man. He's funded Jesse Jackson campaign twice, and gave him housing for free for his campaign in his buildings. It's a lot of stuff the man did that he funded Clinton, and he funded a lot of the Democrats.
Yeah.
A lot of these people that's against him now, all of a sudden, that's the man that funded their campaigns and got them elected. All of a sudden, now he's the man that's going to destroy him. I have to ask you this question, God, if you can help me. So we know what Kamala Harris and President Biden is doing for us right now. While they're in office, right? Nothing. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to say a broke clock is right twice a day. So they doing broke clock work.
That's it.
So Donald Trump been in office. Did he destroy the country? In fact, there was no wars, wasn't it?
Nothing.
So you gonna tell me what she's gonna do while talking about what Trump is gonna do? We can prove what Trump did and what Joe Biden is not doing.
How about this? Go pull your bank statements from prior to 2020. Go pull your bank statements. Look at your income. Look at your money. Look at your bank account prior to 2020 and look at it today. And then come back and holler at your girl.
So I see Doc Reed said, read the 4 John 4:1-6 verse. God is love. Let me say something to you about God is love.
No, that's not what she said.
No, I'm reading that God is love
Kathy
verse.
put in God needs to see him, not people. And she responded to him.
God is love. I know what I'm saying. God is love verse, right? We got over 50,000 churches in Chicago. I don't want to hear nothing about no God is love. Not coming through none of that. Because that book they represent, they have defiled. That's why you don't have young people in church. Because the hypocrisy of religion and the misrepresentation of that book has not proved useful when it comes to sensible policies that uplift the lower rung of society. It doesn't do it.
It doesn't. But you know, let me just say, and I really have to reiterate this. It's because so many of the people in those pulpits, in those churches, are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Know that.
You know, somebody commented about the love, God's agape love. And we understand that, but we're not displaying that. Let me tell you something.
Right. And they're not just words.
Well, let me just say something. I had a person to call me today in tears. Mm-hmm. She's been a member of a church for the last 30 years. She has paid her tithes over the last 30 years and served that church every year except this year because of the upheaval in her life.
Yeah.
And she had to go to that church and ask that church to help her to pay her rent. And the pastor told her that he has not seen her in the last year. And so I say that to say, I don't care if you hadn't seen her in 10 years. If we're supposed to be about the business of helping and serving the people, if you had it to give to help her, then you should have helped her. And see, that is the problem that we're experiencing. Our mothers, our grandmothers, we go into these churches and we pay to keep them running. But you better not get to the point where you need them for something. No. You better not.
You did.
Whatever happened to taking care of the widowers and the poor?
When was I in prison and you visited me not? When was I sick and you healed me, you know? And when was I hungry and you fed me not? That what you do to the least of these, you also do unto me. And yes. God we trust. That money is their God. And that's from pastor, politician, pimps, preachers. This is what I'm telling you. This stuff is real in our face. And look at the migrant crisis. They came over here. The 400 million. Wait. They said how many billions was it that we gave them already across the country?
Well, see, Tyrone, we can't not talk about the fact that we had ministers who opened up their churches to the migrants. Ooh. They opened their churches up to the migrants and they let them come in. And they let them sleep. Not the 65 million wrong number. 65,000 homeless people we've had in this city for the last 30 years. Yeah. No one has not opened up their churches for them to come. And so, see, when you talk about the hypocrisy of it all,
man,
you gotta lay it out there.
Look.
It's good enough for them, but not good enough for us.
The God I represent, I hope he drive y'all to a graveyard of hell. I ain't got no sympathy for you to play with God's people. And we keep on doing that. This emotional stuff, we want to have forgiveness for this and for that while people suffer. I'm not playing those games. That's the problem with us. Those churches that put all the migrants in there, I want to know who you are. I'm going to look and study and find out every church. That's a new project for me to protest. Because now you hypocrites who will let American citizens, black people be on the streets and black women and children be on the streets. And you have nothing for them. But when the migrant come and they're giving you this government money, you need as many bodies to fit in your church. See, the hustle is real, and y'all gonna get exposed today about that. All of us, sometimes being exposed is a healing. Sometimes you got to come out the closet. Like I'm saying, you got to be exposed before you start to heal sometimes. You know, I have to go to prison sometimes to have a different mindset. And y'all should be thankful. I ain't lying. Because looking at some of this madness, man, this ain't it. This is time for war. I ain't lying.
We at war.
We're the economic war.
We at war.
But it's about to get physical. Because it's only so long them young wolves out there gonna keep eating on each other before they realize you pompous, bourgeoisie class of black people that's abandoned your community and think you made it, y'all the targets. Watch.
But see, here's the thing that people have to think about. And if you begin to look at what is happening around the country now, see, that money is running out that they use to take care of those migrants.
Oh, man, we rocking.
Listen to me. The money.
Wanda, we done went crazy over here. We about 5 minutes over. We rolling over here.
The money is running out. And when the money runs out, the housing runs out, the resources runs out.
Ooh.
What y'all think gonna happen? Because see, go and look at what's happening in Denver.
Yeah.
Look at what's happening in some of the communities in California and some of the communities in New York right now. See, when the money runs out, and it's running out now here in Chicago. That's why you got Mayor Johnson running around about to lose his doggone mind, trying to replace Pedro because he need that loan. He need the city to float that loan for the Board of Education so he could get that money to them migrants because they didn't get that millionaire's tax that he was dependent on. Y'all, let's go run out. What y'all think gonna happen with those people? Y'all think y'all not gonna see what you saw in Colorado with them taking over buildings and putting people out? They gonna have to go somewhere.
Yeah. Think about that.
Y'all better think about that. Listen.
Hey, look. Look at this.
And we still have not turned the hands back on our sanctuary city status. They still coming.
Please do not.
Y'all better wake up.
Please do not. Listen, man. Let that fall on deaf ears. And we're about to get ready to close out. But I want to say this before we close out. The reason they don't want to see Trump in office because the pimping game they've been doing under this social programming, these school systems, the money, these unions have been pimping and hustled, the special interest groups that have been taking your resources when you got 2% contracts. Matter of fact, you may have one. You got 2% contracts of all of the goods. We as the people have 2% in this city with a black mayor, 2%. with a black Cook County board president. We got 2% contracts in this city of any resources coming to our households and our families. This violence prevention money
that
everybody been eating off of.
Yes.
Even the police department get $200 million or more of that money when they kicked our doors in for selling weed.
Yeah.
All of this money that's coming in, when Trump coming, he said, I'm going to drain the swamp. Guess who money's going to get cut off, y'all? A lot of these pimps and hustlers. And guess what? What God just said, it's going to be a bunch of starving people. And I hope y'all got other skill set than using Black Death as a hustle and hustling off the people issues for your own gain. I hope you got other things to do, because that space right there with a new sheriff in town, that gets shut down. So I'm Tyrone Muhammad. She's Carter Trust. You are listening to ExCons, the #4Trump live on Intellectual Radio, and we thank y'all for tuning in. And we got more to come, and it's only gonna get better. Get ready. Vote your choice, but vote right.
That's it. That's it. Good night.
Peace and blessing. I answer some of these questions when I get in there. Maybe Carla.
Damn, we were rolling. Shit.
Gone, Carla.
Damn. That was good.
Oh man, they playing.
Damn, look at them comments.
Oh
though.
yeah, we gotta go in. You answer if you see something you want to answer.
Okay.
Were you able to go on there and thank them or thank the people who commented on it? No, because I had to log in and I couldn't think of my.
This woman, even with all that you said, all that, the woman said, "Well, no, I still don't understand." See,
She
don't want to. She called.
She didn't want to hear what we had to
You know
say.
my point.
You know what she
You know
wants.
goddamn well. I don't give a fuck. If you was really following.